What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Football Boot Hour. Slightly delayed. If you are watching us live, I'm sorry, that is my fault. Some technical difficulties this evening. But thank you for joining us, and thank you to my co-host Andrew for being here as always. How are you getting on today, Andrew?
It's better now that I can sleep in the next hour.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock there now. The clocks have changed here, so it's still 11 o'clock for me, but it's 8 a.m. for you.
And they do not change here.
Yeah, exactly. So you have the whole winter with an 8 a.m. start.
Oh, amazing.
It's been a wonderful time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this, Andrew, actually. I know we discussed it. I don't know if you know that I actually made it happen. If you look in the chat right now, you can see...
I'm seeing my logo pop up a
lot. So if you are currently a member of the Boot Wizard channel, you have the option to use multiple special emojis, such as the Boot Wizard logo, some Boot Wizard text, and today I introduced the Lockhart Boot Blog logo.
Great.
So there we go. Justin, you have missed nothing, my friend. We were late on, so you are perfectly on time, and all you've missed is a lot of Lockhart Boot Blog logos being shared for very, very good reason. Anybody watching in the chat, as always, do let us know if you are having any technical difficulties with volume, etc., etc. So let's get into it. Today, we're mainly going to be talking about a whole bunch of new releases that we've got this week. So we're going to kind of really focus on what is current. And we are going to get into something that is really inspired by a reel that Andrew put out today on the Messi F50 boots and this kind of variation that we're seeing between them, whether that's a good thing, a bad thing, etc., etc. So let's begin, shall we? And I think...
No traction because I used death metal for the backing.
Lesson for anybody who is posting on social media: don't use angry death metal with explicit language to promote your reels. Instagram doesn't like it.
Does not like it at all. Shocking. I'm gonna play with it a little bit more and see what I can get away with.
Do it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so I think I am excellently prepared today, I think. And we should be able to take a look at... Yeah, look at that. There we go.
Wow.
Look at that. I am on a roll today.
Spread you and butter.
I know. So we have a few different boots that we want to talk about. I have laid them along the bottom there for us to have a look at. But on top of that, not only can I do that, let's take a look at them one by one with some lovely big images too. Ready? Look at me go. Boom. Look at nice. That. We are on a roll. The technology. So
is this 2050? I feel like I'm in the future.
I'm such an old man being so impressed with my own abilities to do this. Justin says a little louder for me. Yes, sir. Anything for you. I will turn that up. Let me know if that is better. Matthew H, wild group of releases this week. Absolutely agree. A little bit unexpected. So let's start with obviously what we have here, and then we'll discuss what we've been wearing, because that will lead into our conversation for the week. So we're going to start with these. Now, these aren't getting an official release, of course. These are just specifically for the player, but I thought they were definitely worth talking about.
Yeah.
These are the Aitana Bonmati Ballon d'Or special boots. Basically, they've got back to back on them somewhere. Hold on, if I spread this one out,
it was on that first picture you put up.
Oh, was it? I thought.
Yeah, back to back.
Hold on. No, I'm having a disaster with the technology now. You go away. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So it's got back to back on here, which is a lovely little nod. The text is kind of hard to read. I'm not going to lie. Again, I'm probably just old. And then the sole plate. We've got the lovely.
Yeah, that's so good.
Really, really nice. I think this is a lovely design. And honestly, I think it would be even more special if it wasn't for the fact that Adidas has released 800 million Predator colorways
Yeah,
and they've overdone gold and they've overdone white. Now, I realize it's not white, but you see where
yeah, it's white with a shade of gold. But
it's,
the thing
yeah,
is, like, I would prefer them to swing the axe at like 5 different other colorways and bring out these as a limited edition.
I absolutely agree. Like, there's so many others that could have been axed in order to release these. Like, I understand they can't have. Well, they could have had. They're always going to be like, oh, we don't know who's going to win the Ballon d'Or. We knew she was going to win the Ballon d'Or. Like, this wasn't a debate. This wasn't a Vinny Jr. and Rodri kind of situation. Like, this was happening.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, or even if you're going to put them out a little bit later, I don't know. I just feel like they've missed a trick
so
here.
far as to sacrifice at least 10 of the other colorways in the FT just to get these.
I would absolutely agree. I do want to show something to the camera real quick. Something I've just been sent through on my phone right here. This is, I don't know how well you can see that. This is our friend Yuli. He's one of the moderators for the chat usually at x.quetzalcoatl.x. He is currently at the Bank of America Stadium watching Charlotte FC play and streaming us at the same time. Hey, Yuli, and thank you very much for your support.
Hello,
so back to Bon Mati. Where are we going to rank these?
Great. As tired as I am of Pred colorways,
boom,
so well done.
Yeah, really like those.
I also think, like, again, I would sacrifice a good, on top of the 10, another 5 colorways to get those Jude, what was it, Copa Trophy?
Oh yeah,
got last year. That was like pinkish and gold.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they do so many good, like, make it delayed like you did with the Trent Alexander-Arnold ones.
Yeah, that would have definitely worked.
But just have a few inline colorways and then pump up some limited edition releases, and Bob's your uncle. Well, actually, Bob's my dad, but you know what I mean.
Oh dear. Okay, that's great, and I absolutely agree. And we will move on to something that I'm not a huge fan of, I'll be honest, but I think that could be a slightly divisive opinion, but I also don't think you're going to like it. And that is the new Mercurial Dream Speed, which feels very America. It's very USA, isn't it? With the red, white, and blue. When I saw the leaks, I kind of thought I'd like it, but I'm not feeling it, and I feel like part of the problem is, again, that air branding around the back.
It's so bad. Look, like, you can almost see how clean that whole design would be if they didn't have the air branding. Like, I argue, remove that air branding, and this would be like one of the best vapor colorways in a long time, one of the best Merc colorways in a long time. But that stupid air branding makes it look like some just like kid's shoe.
Yeah, because like there's a great shot here of the swoosh, which I think is lovely, with the MDS on. Now they've done this before on some other colorways, but I think that's really, really nice. The MDS up the back is nice. I just think that this air is just is really ruining the overall aesthetic.
Under the damn swoosh.
Yeah, we don't need it everywhere.
Need another logo. Like,
so something
it's just like, I don't know. It's just like somebody, they got the design, and then some kid came along and was like, this would look really cool if we put air on the back, and then slapped it on, and they're like, I guess we'll just go with that.
But I don't know, like it is ruining every colorway. What I can't wait for is Nike usually do this like midlife graphical update to boots, don't they? Or at least to the Mercurial. Because they tend to run them for 2 years, so you get like a midlife graphics update. So I can't wait for that to happen, and hopefully that air to get binned off in favor of something else.
Make it bigger. I will say, this is one of the things that I do like about Nike. I love some of the names of their colorways. Like, the gold swoosh is gold coin. I was like, that's cool.
That is nice. this is slightly off track, but so you know how I had like that rant about Volt only being a Nike color, like maybe like a couple of months ago, where like everybody says like a bright yellow is like Volt, and I'm like, no, Volt is a Nike color. Well, Unisport apparently don't know this either, because
that photo,
I recently purchased a pair of the of New Balance Furons, which have a highlighter yellow color in them. And I didn't buy them from Unisport, but I just happened to be looking for the kind of best price, and they have a highlighter yellow color in them, and New Balance call it highlighter yellow, but Unisport have it listed as Volt, and it really upset me. Really upset me. Ruined my whole day.
James, perchance, do you have OCD?
I don't know, but maybe I should get tested. Anyway, where are we ranking these? Because as much as the air ruins it, it's a nice combination of colors.
Dude, this is live. This guy just asked if this is pre-recorded.
Oh no, we are live. We are live, sir.
Those will go in meh.
Meh, yeah, I'm okay with that. Like it does. It feels like it might be a little harsh.
The potential for it to be great is up there, but no.
Yeah. Nah, meh. Okay.
A rant on Volt versus bright yellow is why y'all can't get under 2-hour pause. Hey now.
Who said that?
Justin.
He's not wrong. Oh dear. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, we will move on to another release that we've had this week. So we've had both a blackout, so a triple black or obsidian color Skito. I didn't bring my Skitos, so I'm glad you did. And we've also had a triple white Skito drop.
Yes.
Now, our friend Ollie did make a very good point that in actual fact, these are not triple white and triple black, because the black one has a white logo and the white one has a black logo.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not as pronounced on the black, but on the white, it is fairly obvious.
And triple black, though. It's ice and obsidian.
They did say triple on the email. If you look on their email, it says triple white, triple black.
I thought I had something here.
Yeah, they did put triple white and triple black on it. But the official kind of colorways, I think, are ice and obsidian, like you say. I think they're both delightful representations of whiteout and blackout, and obviously to be expected from every brand now. What I'm really hoping Skito do is they make these kind of like quite available, easy to get hold of, and they'll just hang on to them no matter what else they release. It just would make sense, I think, to have those fairly constantly available.
Yeah, this is back to that whole conversation we had before about always having certain colorways available, just no matter what ever else you release.
Absolutely. So I think, so I wanted to buy from Skito. I had a voucher for the discount and all this kind of stuff. So I wanted to buy direct from Skito, and by the time I got there, they'd already sold out of the whiteout in my size.
I posted it and I was like, their post was a bit delayed, but I was like, well, I mean, it's Skito. They're not gonna sell that many that quickly. And I was just like, when you said they're out, I went back and looked and I was like, oh.
Yeah, so I thought the same thing. I was like, they're definitely not going to sell out. Now, you can go and get them from Unisport still. Unisport have a full range of sizes. If for anybody who's wondering, you can go and get them from Unisport. You can get the original launch colorway from Unisport. Skito obviously hold a much smaller stock and have kind of used Unisport and some other places as their primary retailers.
Yep. That's done on purpose so they can push that people are forced to go to retailers instead of them directly. It's a good idea.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I had a discount to buy them from Skito. I wanted the whiteout. I got to the whiteout and they were sold out in my size. I then was like, have they really sold out in my size? Like, have they gone that quickly? So I actually messaged Jake to ask him, and he went, yeah, man, they've gone. I was like, oh, God damn it.
So you got the black.
So I got the black instead.
The black is so good, though. I ordered the black.
like the black is amazing. As far as a black boot goes, it's really nice. I just don't wear black boots. Like, I'm going
First
to
time
now.
for everything, buddy.
Yeah,
First time for everything.
Absolutely. Should we rank them? Where would you like to put the black out and the white out?
I would put them both in great. Like, I know they're like tap ins, but still, there's a reason they're tap ins because they look good. Now, Justin does make a good point. Having a whiteout come out right after a launch white boot is beyond dumb. Yeah, but there's a lot of people out there who are very much, they want to wear white boots and they don't want branding to be seen so easily. So
I see the logic of why they've released the white. I think the problem is maybe that it's got that black logo on it as well, which is similar to the launch.
Yeah,
if they'd have maybe gone for a white logo as well, at least to give it a little bit more difference.
Like tone on tone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do see the maybe foolishness of having a whiteout and then the same as the launch. But if they do what we're saying and they have that whiteout available constantly, then maybe it's not so bad.
Jay Martin, so we don't talk about leaks on the podcast.
Yeah, sorry for
anybody. Message us privately for that. That's fine, but like publicly, we don't talk about leaks.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
That's just kind of what we do.
Yeah. No leaks on the pod. Go and check out the Bootcast podcast. Those guys do some great stuff on leaks. Or if you want to discuss with us personally, you can message us privately.
Yep.
There we go. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in great because I'm still kind of high on the boots in general. So I agree with you. Let's put them in great. Now, the next boots I've lined up here is another one you can't actually buy, but I couldn't let the week go past without us mentioning it because I love this.
Yeah, it's really cool.
This is so cool. So this is the Emi Martinez signature boot, and it's Adidas, Black Sabbath, and Jordan Dawson, thank you, who have come together to make this. I actually spoke to Jordan about this yesterday, which was kind of cool. But I was like, oh, they should have released them in like really small numbers. They're so cool. He's like, my hands would have fallen off if I've had to do more than this. Which, fair enough. I just thought this was exceptionally cool. I thought it was a very, very cool boot. It looks great, and I think it's a really cool kind of collaboration.
It is. Yeah, Skito do need an AG plate. I'm sure they're working on it. They surely are.
You would think so. I actually have no...
Yeah, I have no idea either, but they surely
no
are.
No idea. But,
these are great. It's a weird collab, but,
Oh, it's weird as hell, but I'm all here for it.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, hold on. I can't click on it. Great. There we go. Whoop. Technology. Okay. Next up, Adidas finally found their red pen.
Yeah.
They've actually found
such a good red as well.
An actual red boot. Look how good that red is. Why could they not have found this earlier in the year?
Because honestly, probably because they were saving it for this.
Yeah. But so this is the Adidas F50 Soccer.com special edition. So you can only buy this through Soccer.com. They've done this before, and usually it is a good colorway, and usually it has a great red. And this is a fantastic example of that.
Yeah.
We just want a little bit of that red on like Predator tongues and things like that. But it is delicious. It's one of the nicest. I think that's one of the nicest F50 colorways I've seen.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great for that one as well.
Yeah, that's easy.
See, look what happens. You get an extra hour's sleep, and look at how like benevolent we're being. Look at how nice we're being to everything. You get 1 extra hour's sleep, and all of a sudden everything's in great.
Justin, I'm really surprised they went with the regular lace instead of the F50 Plus. I would argue that was because of cost.
Probably.
Addy probably told them up front, like, no way.
Yeah, I would imagine that was an Adidas choice to say, like, no, we're not releasing, because they seem to have a very controlled release of the Plus as to when it's released and why it's released,
Yeah.
and things like that. So I would assume that Adi basically went, no, that's not in the plan for the Plus. You could make the argument that obviously it'd be too similar to the Plus that came out recently, but hey, it's also way too similar to the regular F50 Elite that also came out recently.
I mean, remember several years back when we got all of the different stores had different limited F50 remakes?
Yeah, I have the Unisport ones.
Yeah, and I reached out to J Mike and a few others, and they're like, yeah, Addy, the first thing they said is no leather.
Yeah. I remember. I think it was on the podcast, the Boot Nerds podcast. I think Jay spoke about it a bit on there as well, and said that there was definitely some like restrictions that Addy put on them as to what they could and couldn't do, and then what they wanted to do also added some extra restrictions as well as to how that could actually be achieved.
Yeah.
But I think that companies are always going to take. You
still have your pair, don't you?
I do have my pair. Yeah. They're just they're behind me over here somewhere.
Just sitting in a box.
They're just sitting in a box, chilling out.
I found a pair for a great price here. They were like 130 euros.
Whoa.
And it was like just before I'd sold some boots. I was like, just give me a few more days, please. Give me a few more days. Give me a few more days. Gone. Sold some boots and they were gone. And it was just like,
yeah, they were going to go fast, man. Fast.
Yeah, they were used, but they were still in amazing shape. I don't care if they were used because I was going to use them. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't used mine, but I would have bought another pair that were used to use them.
Exactly.
Wouldn't have had a problem with that at all. Okay, let's move on to our final boot of the week. Another one that we are not able to go out and buy. So these are for Alexandra Popp.
Yep.
The Germany captain. Well, ex-Germany captain now, as she has retired from international football. And she got these fantastic looking Puma boots. They've got some really great details. They have I couldn't find the picture, unfortunately. They've got kind of a silhouette of her and her shirt number on the back. Yeah. They've got the dates of her first cap to her last cap. I think these are just really well done, really tastefully done.
So cool.
Yeah, for a player, if there's any player that deserves a boot,
she's just been consistent.
I would argue that she is Germany's first great female football star.
Not first for me. Brigitte Prings.
Okay, fair enough.
Won the World Player of the Year several times.
Yeah.
But fair enough. She's probably the most visible. And the one people are going to remember the most for a while.
People will remember her more. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I have a good story about her, actually. Well, it's not about her at all, but it's related to her. Obviously, I was at the England-Germany Women's Euros final a couple of years ago, and my wife is Irish, so there's no chance in hell my wife was going to get caught dead wearing an England shirt. So we're obviously playing Germany, so my wife goes and gets a Germany shirt. So we all turn up in our England shirts. My wife has a Germany shirt, and not only does she have a Germany shirt, she has a Pop printed Germany shirt.
Nice.
Sitting in and amongst all of us during the Euros final. So that's what you get for having an Irish wife. But
and every chance they get, they will never, ever, ever let the English forget what they did.
You know what? Fair enough. She still married me, so.
Bout of insanity?
Yeah, it must have been. So these ones are great as well. I think these are great as well.
Yeah, those are great. Great player, great boots, great colorway.
Excellent. Look at that. Look how positive that is. That is madness.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, I'm gonna pull the.
I think it's helped by a lot of them being like, we can't get a hold of them.
Yeah, we can't actually buy them.
And it doesn't actually flood the market more.
So before we move on to the topic of the week, which is very much based around Messi's, F50s, and general boots, especially from Adidas, that seem to be showing variations colorway to colorway more so than we might have previously expected. Should we take a look in the chat, because the chat's been going off? I haven't actually looked at the chat once. Is there anything that we've missed? Oh, sorry.
No, they're talking about the F50 Plus.
Nice. Yeah, Matthew H here says your Volt is my infrared, a specific Nike colorway. Yes, this is a specific Nike colorway, which is very important. Yuli watching Westwood in the Skito whiteouts. So Westwood playing for Charlotte,
and Yuli's going off to watch a match, which fair enough. Thanks for joining for a second.
Absolutely.
Chris Rico, thank you for not inviting Noah to this premiere. He's always wearing Barca jerseys.
We'll take Noah anytime he's available. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe we'll put a ban on him wearing Barca jerseys or something, just not to stir the. Then he'll wear Arsenal kits.
I was going to say, and his Barca jerseys are so nice. He has such nice looking Barca jerseys. Okay, so keep your chats coming in. If you've got questions, throw them in there, and we will get to your questions. Quick plug for me, for my channel. If you do wish to become a member of the Boot Wizard YouTube channel, get early access to all of my videos, as well as cool things like little logo next to your name, which a few of the lads here you can see, and also use of specific emojis, which Andrew has made beautiful use of up at the top of the chat. It's very, very cheap, and it makes a huge difference to the channel if you are able to, and if you would like to become a member. Moving on to our topic of
what
the
have
week.
we been wearing this week, because you forget every single week.
It's not. I do. So what have you been wearing this week, Andrew?
Nothing. I am still recovering.
See, it wasn't worth it anyway.
I'm going out. I'm going to go out Monday and see how it goes. But yeah, I still have the review of these up.
Yep.
So these are amazing. I've done a couple reels on the Bad Bunnies. We'll get into this, but yeah, I might do one final. If I am able to play, I'll probably get one kind of reel out of me out on the pitch, just talking about these. So we'll see.
Nice. I also have essentially not really been wearing anything because I'm going out on Sunday to test. I have the New Balance Furon V7 Plus Destroy. So the first tier takedown model.
I heard those are really good.
Yeah. So I don't actually have them with me because I have to go and pick them up tomorrow from the store, because they were supposed to arrive today, but they failed miserably. So they've sent them to the store instead.
Of course.
So I'm going to pick them up from the store. And but I have had them in hand before, and I literally had them in hand for about 90 seconds. And that was enough for me to be like, I'm buying these because they are shockingly good in just materials terms. They still have a hyperknit upper. They still have essentially the same sole plate. The sole plate might be a little thicker and slightly less snappy. The upper might be slightly thicker, but it looks like the same shape, the same softness. I am very excited to try these. If the shape and the fit through like areas such as the heel are like good, I think this is going to be an incredible takedown model option, and I'm very excited to give them a go. What did I put up this week? What review? I did Sure Grip Viper 5 Sure Grip sock review. Incredible socks. Very expensive, unfortunately, which seems to be the general consensus in the comments. A lot of people being like, these are amazing. I was going to buy these, and then went, they're very expensive. So I put that up. My thoughts on the Bellingham Preds.
You do get a discount through.
He's better at this than I am. Yes, I have a 10% discount for Viper 5, which is on the video.
Makes them cheaper and helps Wizard as well.
Yeah, so you will get 10% off the socks, which when the socks are quite expensive is obviously a large amount of money. And it supports the channel, which is great. It supports the channel in multiple ways because I do make a commission on those sales. And also it means that companies go, hey, look, this guy's really good. Let's work with him. It's all good stuff. So, yeah, I think that's what. Oh, and I put up a Puma Ultra Match review, so another takedown review. But that's for members only for now. It'll come out in about 3 weeks for everybody else.
So become a member. And
yes,
you can watch
do,
it.
please, everybody. So let's move on to the topic of the week now that I haven't forgotten what we're doing. And I know you have yours there, but I brought the box for mine deliberately because the presentation for this boot is fantastic.
It's so well done.
For a good look, go and check out Andrew's reel. But these are delicious. It's just such a good presentation. I was struggling to think of a boot that's been better presented this year.
Yeah, because technically the Pred 30 came out last year.
Yeah, so you've got but I would argue that
I could think that comes close.
But I think the overall presentation of these is actually better. I think the Pred 30 just has a very big box, which is very cool. Yeah. And obviously has the gold inlay on the inside. But there's more detail put into this rather than it just being a big box, I think. Even like the inside of the lid, so you've got the Trefoil logo and the Adi logo in there.
Yeah.
Messi Bad Bunny.
It's really well done.
So well done. You've obviously got the extra pair of insoles.
Did yours get stuck to the paper too? Yeah. So did mine.
Disaster. And you get your string bag. I do wish Adi would up their string bag game for certain releases. Like
I do like Nike, that shade of blue though.
That shade of blue is delightful. Noah would love that. Speaking of Noah.
Yeah, but Nike definitely, like with the I don't even remember what the damn name is anymore. The Cosmic Speed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like a really weird bag, but like they did
pretty
something
cool
different.
Though. Yeah, they did something different. And then you get a little pouch with extra laces in. Like it's such small details, but when you are paying a lot for a boot, so you're paying boots are expensive anyway, then you're paying extra for it being a limited edition.
Yeah.
I think things like this make such a difference.
Yeah, it's the little things. And we've said before, a box does not a special edition make, but it helps. If it's done well, it really helps.
But when it's a box and insoles and a string bag and laces, you know what I mean? Then you're starting to add up all of the extras.
Or shin guard slides and grip socks. If you
those who know. And then then we have the boots themselves, which we both have, and handily enough, we have. Have we got different sides? Yeah.
Yeah, so, I've got the left foot.
Yeah, I got the right foot. Natural. That was just natural for us, wasn't
it? And like little things like having Bad Bunny's first name right here on this boot, and then having Leo on that boot, like.
Yeah, and I love the way that they're set up, kind of like their signature. Yeah. Like they're like his boots, you know, like he's had this added and then Messi's had his bit added. I really like that. I think that's such a cool thing to do, is to set them up as if they are like pros boots.
Yeah. I do like this little extra bit right here.
The little
Adidas
tab.
Bad Bunny for Adidas.
Oh, is that what that one says? I haven't spent that much time with mine, so mine says Bad Messi para Bad Bunny.
Yeah. Bad Bunny para Messi, so.
It's the other way around. Nice.
Oh, yeah. It's different on both boots. That's a nice little detail, too. Like, just little things like that, you can make a boot just that much more. You know, it says Messi here, and it says Benito here. Same in the stripe, it's Benito on the right foot, and it's Messi on the left foot. Like, little things like that make such a difference. You can really tell these are special edition.
Yeah, the amount of care that seems to have gone into them is far beyond anything else that I have experienced recently. Like from the presentation to the boots to everything, the actual the amount of care and attention is fantastic.
Now, here's my kind of hot take. While I actually like this brown,
Yes,
I think if they'd done this blue with brown stripes, it would have come out way
interesting.
better. But if they'd done that, Noah would have lost his damn mind and
Noah would have
ordered
bought
like
20
100.
pairs.
Yeah, exactly. He would have bought like, he'd be like, "I'm sorry, I'm shutting the channel down. This is the only boot I'm wearing for the rest of my life." They could have that shade of blue is so good too.
It is a really nice shade of blue.
Yeah. This little thing right here, instead of doing Messi's logo, it's Bad Bunny's logo. Like, that's so many great details, even on the insole. Like, these aren't huge things. These don't cost a lot to do overall, but doing them makes such a massive difference to, collecting a boot.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to charge me extra, this is what you need to do.
Yeah, and of course we'll get into it. The upper is definitely softer than the other variations they've had.
No question. Like, so I didn't have the Trifonto Estrella, which is the white purple. So I didn't have that, but I do have the gold, and I do, so that one. Didn't have the white purple, but I bought the gold, and then I got these, and there is a noticeable difference between the gold and these, and I have been told by you that there's a difference between the gold and the white purple as well.
Yeah, and Justin actually pointed this out to me, and now that I'm kind of got them in hand again and looking at this, so shout out to Justin for this. He was asking if I felt like the stripes on the gold had a bit more grip to them than the ones on the white. And now feeling it in hand, these feel rougher, but these feel stickier on here.
Okay.
But I think overall, because of the finish on this, the white feels a bit stickier than the gold, so these feel better.
Okay.
There's some more for you. But yeah. And for what it's worth, like, I'm selling the gold ones. I'm going to keep the white ones because white boot, come on. And it's very classily done. But, after getting these, I want another pair of these now. Like, these are so good. I got excited because I saw that the retailer restocked, but they didn't restock in my size. But
yeah.
And of course, the bunch are up for resale. I'll fight someone down on a price eventually. But yeah, these are so well done. And this is closer to what it feels like in the gold, but the upper itself is much softer.
This is so soft. This is stupid soft.
Yeah, and it's crazy because this is good. This is really good. Now, bear in mind this one's been worn, so it's pretty soft. It's softened up, but these and these are both still really soft. Feels really nice already.
So I was fairly blown away by the gold.
More, yeah.
And then I got these, and I'm like, holy.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my gosh, they made it even that softer. And I think this is probably, Justin, you took the words right out of my mouth. Is this a classic example of dyes can affect materials differently? I think it's partially that.
I spoke to Mark, GCFC Training, about this a little while ago, about how I find that almost always black boots tend to be a bit softer, and I'm convinced it's the dye. Like, black dyes just have to be so intense, and they have to seep into the material so much that the way it affects them, it just softens up the material. Very rarely do I find, if I was to get 3-4 boots together, where the black isn't the softer one, even by a little bit, simply because of the dye.
Oh, dibs! That makes me sad. His white pair came in defective, rubber elements peeling off, and now they've sold out.
No.
Well, one, you should return those to Addy, and then 2, I'm sure you can find a white pair somewhere. There's loads of places that still have a white pair.
Yeah. These not so much, but the white ones are still around.
Yeah. These are still pretty readily available in the States. I got really excited because one of the retailers in the States was doing 30% off everything. So I was like, oh, a chance to get it closer to Japanese pricing. But they only have 7.5, not an 8 for me. So
I just got the same discount code that Ricky got, actually, for 25% off at Unisport. But obviously they don't have any left, so otherwise I might have gone ahead and done it.
Dips talked to me earlier and said it's convinced him to get the Skito. So
Yeah,
that's
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Wasn't the Phantom Venom famous for that? Different types of colors affect the fit. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They weren't even just a softness thing; they were a fit thing. Like that was
Yeah.
weird. Like I don't understand.
Well, I'd argue it's also because Nike has very, very poor quality control. So now I will say, for as much as I love these, and I do love them, and I do want another pair, if you're comparing the two, the Skitos are softer out of the box.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
If you want to go as soft as possible, these are the way to go.
Yeah, the Skitos are softer, and I would argue like thinner as well. So they're like more, definitely more direct touch on the ball. They're a little bit thinner, but they're also less structured a little bit in that kind of forefoot area.
Yeah.
Especially around the toe box. I found the Messis have a slightly higher volume toe box. They'll kind of like hold they'll kind of hold shape. Irrespective of your foot, whereas the Skitos won't. The Skitos will be the shape of your foot, and you will deal with that basically. So if you don't want like super painted on style of boot, then you'd go for the F50.
And again, like this, putting this off to the side so you have a bigger area, striking area right here. Very nice. Very nice.
So I suppose what we also wanted to talk about today, aside from fawning over how wonderful these are, is that difference between different boots and how, not necessarily with the Messi F50s, I think with some boots it's become a problem. The F50 Elite, the regular F50, is for me the prime example, because we both got the purple, the launch colorway. We both reviewed it. We're both very positive on it. And then I got the next colorway in it, the Euros colorway, which I cannot remember the name of. Justin will tell me in the chat in a second, because I know he knows. Advancement pack, is that it? Anyway, so I got that, and that was almost disappointing. Not just because it wasn't as soft as the purple, but simply because it wasn't even soft enough for me to be like, oh, I think this is great. That required actual break-in time. And I think our friend Ricky has found exactly the same thing. And there's got to be, you mentioned quality control with Nike there. There's got to be like at least a base level that you can expect from going into a different colorway of a boot, surely. And Adi seemed to not care.
Yeah, that's very frustrating. There's as much success as they had this year, there's definitely sticks we can beat them with, and that's definitely one of them. And it also kind of points to the fact that, like, we all know the Messi ones are softer, and it's cool that they're making them different for him and everything like that. I like that. But at the same time, like, I don't think people would have minded if they just slapped the Hybrid Touch 1.0 on all of the F50s.
Not at all.
Now, the counter argument to that is because this is kind of a throwback look, then, you're once again stamping on nostalgia, which, we've talked about in the past. That doesn't really help you create new moments. But at the same time, like, the upper of the Messi is so ridiculously good, even compared to, like, the purple ones, which I love. So it's just, I don't know.
I'm wondering if similar. So the story seems to be, and I would say this seems to be correct, that they underestimated how popular the FT would be in the Predator at the start. So therefore, we ended up in a position where there just simply wasn't enough supply for the demand. Have they this time round massively underestimated how popular the Messi F50 was going to be, and simply gone, oh, it'll sell, but it's not going to be that popular?
I don't think they've underestimated it. I just think they released it in limited enough numbers to make sure it'd sell out. And I understand why they want to make it seem separate, but they've done this before where they've released Messi colorways and slapped his logos on it. I mean, they could have done the same thing here and would have been fine. You know what you actually could have done is if you make a Messi model, make all the F50s hybrid touch, yada, 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 and for the Messi model, put the damn Gamba Tracks outsole on it.
I knew where that was going. Oh, it's so annoying. That would have made a
massive difference. I know you still have the molds. No, for a fact you still have the molds because Messi's still getting. You've not only got the molds, you've changed them generation to generation. So just do it. Yeah, Igor, we saw that again. Not comment. Well, I guess we could comment on it because it's been on his feet.
It was on Messi's feet, so I without going into too much detail, we can say that obviously we saw it, and we could probably say that we're definitely getting to the point with the Messi F50s that we are getting to with the F50s and the Predators. There's just too many of them.
Yeah, 3 for a year is fantastic. 2 regular releases and 1 limited edition. That's perfect. You don't need to do no more. But, Addy gonna Addy right now, I guess.
It's mad. So Messi literally went into the white purple, and by the time the white purple was out, he was moving into the Bad Bunnies.
Bad Bunny scored a hat trick.
Yeah, and then the Bad Bunnies are now available and have sold out. And just as they've sold out, he's already moved into something else.
Yeah. Now, you could argue that they're trying to milk Messi's name as much as possible before he retires. Now, his contract's up next summer, right? Now,
I think so.
This is just an aside. I can see 2 scenarios. One scenario, he plays for 1 more year, signs on 1-year deal for another 1-year deal for Inter Miami, and plays the World Cup. Or next summer, he finally retires.
Yeah, I can't see him going anywhere else after Miami. Surely that's the end of it. And
There's talk earlier in his career that he wanted to go back to Rosario Central, but I don't think he'd do that.
I can't see him doing it, to be honest. No. I think Messi will be... Miami will be his final destination, as it were.
Yeah.
And as much as he's clearly still playing well, he's still playing at a level where he essentially dominates everybody else in that league, turns up, gets on the pitch, scores a hat-trick, job done, away we go. And he's got his mates there now, he's playing with Suarez, and I'd say he's very
Neymar happy. Is rumored to join, so it's getting the band back together. But I could see him doing if they get Neymar doing 1 season, unless he really, really enjoys that season and decides to keep going. I think next summer will probably be it, to be honest.
I think he's only playing now for almost for fun. He's just he absolutely is. As soon as he's kind of done,
or if not the summer, maybe he'll extend his contract till the end of the MLS season, and then
But yeah, no, I think that I think we'll get 1 more season out of him, and like you say, especially with the potential for Neymar. If they get Neymar, you 100%, I think, get another season out of him. That will be enough to make him him do 1 more. But I think in general we'll probably get 1 more. But I don't think he's going to do a Ronaldo and go for go close to 40 and things like that. I think he'll be done. No. He'll be done long before then.
No.
Nice. So we'll go back to boots for a second. So I want to kind of still pick up on this kind of different uppers feeling different across the boots. I'm still picking on Addy here because I also found this with the Predator. So I have the Predator 30, and then I also have I have multiple other Predators, but the one I want to bring up is the whiteout, the pearlized one, I think it is.
Yeah.
Not the Mania, obviously, the other one. And the upper on that is completely different. Now, that is definitely a colorway thing. That's an inability to replicate the kind of shade and the color and the style they want with a particular material. So they've had to change it. And my question, I suppose, and your thoughts, what are your thoughts on this, is should that be something that they have to factor in? So, for example, if they want to do a whiteout, they should factor in being able to do that in a way where it doesn't affect the boot significantly from colorway to colorway. Because to me, it feels very much something that really irritates me. For example, those Nike Cosmic Speed you mentioned, something that really irritates me is this idea that you lose performance for the sake of aesthetics. And for me, it felt like that whiteout lost performance for the sake of aesthetics, and that kind of annoyed me.
Yeah. I can see where you're going there. The problem is the only people who really care are us.
It's so true, and I knew you would say that.
I mean, every once in a while, you will have people who will have both pairs who are just regular players or not really into it as much as we are, you know, obsessive to the point of maybe being a problem and needing intervention. But like once in a while somebody will notice, or maybe two people comparing their Preds at a game or something, like, oh, that's really weird. But for the most part, I don't think people notice enough so that the brands can kind of get away with it. I mean, I'm pretty sure the brands are fully aware of what's going on, but you know.
What you're telling me is that they don't care.
No,
and we kind of knew that already.
Yeah, it is what it is. Justin says, I noticed the swoosh on the new Volt colorway is different coating material to the blue or blueprint ones. What about certain details being different? Yeah, and there's that as well. I think, again, changing the color on certain details will change how it feels. So
I think there's a line for me. There's a point at which I'm like, okay, this is fine because it's to be expected with a change of colorway or a change of detail or something like that. For example, something I would like Nike to do on the new Mercurial is to make the swoosh hollow and just have it as an outline, because I think the swoosh interrupts the grip net and I don't like that. So if they were to do that, for example, and have that as a difference, maybe not an ideal situation, but that is kind of one thing. Then I think the other issue lands on something like the F50 that I mentioned, and going from that super soft purple F50 where you can wear it, and I found put it on, wear it for a few hours, and you're basically good to go. Like there's not really any break-in time, straight into the next colorway of the advancement pack. And I suppose I'm kind of looking at this from a reviewer's point of view, where I've gone out and said, well, I didn't because I didn't put the review out, but like I've gone out and said, this boot's great. Look how soft the upper is. And then loads of people go out and buy the advancement pack and are like, no, it's not. Let's talk about.
Yeah, there is that. And so I think we do. I think especially because we're going to see more and more and more of this from a lot of brands. So thanks Puma for starting this whole damn thing where you have this special edition launch colorway and then move on from there. And then I guess we need to be more careful as reviewers and unfortunately spend more of our money to, check these things.
Yeah.
Maybe do a kind of like a re-review of when the initial colorway comes out. And that sucks because that creates more work for us. It costs more for us. But at the end of the day, what we're doing is helping people out. So,
this is kind of where I'm at. Is like, it's my aim is to give people the best information possible, help people out as much as possible. And this comes down to, sizing and fit and feel and all this kind of stuff and general recommendation of a boot. So for example, again, to use those F50s, because that really did bug me, is that purple one, I was kind of effusive in praise and I was very much yes, go out and buy this boot. Had the advancement pack been the first pair that I got in, simply due to how much stiffer the upper was and how much harder that was to break in and how much less comfortable that was, my recommendation would have been significantly different. I would have definitely been in a boat where I'd have been like, okay, here's a boot that has some really great elements. The touch on the ball is nice, the outsole is nice, but you want to be careful because you might find that you get some pressure points, that it doesn't really mold to the shape of your foot. And that's a very different conversation simply through changing one small element of a boot. It's obviously not a small element, but it is only one change. And I don't know, like that F50 bugged the bugged the hell out of me.
Yeah.
The Messis I'll get over because it's a variation of softness, and that first one
they've just
is
continued to get softer.
right. Like
not
at
like,
least
it's
they're
not
getting
the
better.
opposite. Yeah. Well, there is that people are telling me to re-review the Vapor because those got better, but I mean, I've already done a Vapor review this year. What more do you people want? I ain't reviewing any other stuff.
But yeah, like the Vapor shape for me did change. Something I did
now that
no go on.
that is beyond the F50 for me. The whole fit and shape changed. That is far beyond just the material and the upper beams differ. The whole shape changing is ridiculous.
Especially through the heel was the big problem for that one. Like the rest of it I could kind of, I would have, again, thinking about it from what I would say if I was reviewing, I don't think my recommendation as to how the boot fit people would have changed too much with the width. I would have still recommended, okay, yes, this is going to be quite good for people with a wider foot, and various things like that. I think my recommendation on that would have stayed very similar. But the heel fit, and that is a big difference, and that is a big change. And I spoke to a few people about this, and there was such a wild variety of kind of opinions and various things like that. Like I spoke to J Mike about it, and he literally measured all of his heels for me using calipers, and found very little difference between his, and he'd had like 4 different colorways at that point. Whereas obviously if anybody saw the videos I put up at the time, there's still a reel on Instagram that I did. There is a very visible difference between the shadow pack, the blackout, and the blueprint being very wide, and then the mad something pack being quite narrow. And you know what? For me, that's in the same boat as the F50. Both of those annoyed me in the same amount. Like the F50 affected the boot more for me, but they are 100% in the same ballpark. And I think we could argue we've got to hold brands to higher standards, but it's like you said, I don't think there's anything we can do about it. Like,
we just gotta,
because nobody cares apart from us.
The brands don't care, so I guess we just got to do our due diligence. And I'm not getting the pink, Matthew.
I would wear the pink.
I know you would wear the pink. One of my buddies would wear the pink for sure if he still played. William, I hope you're doing well. Random question. I'm finding difficult Japanese boots, ASICs mostly with SG sold. The demands for SG plates is a lot lower in Japan. Check out Tokyo Football SG. If not, DM me and we'll figure something out. Because they do have SG options. They do make SG options. Just they'll make like one colorway with SG.
Okay.
Most of the pros will get theirs professionally converted, or they'll have it converted at their club.
I suppose that is your other option, is you can do a conversion. There's loads of places that do them. I have a pair of converted Superflies from bootman.ie. Did a great job on them for me. Although anybody who is interested in a conversion, if you get now I knew this before I gave him the boots. I knew this was probably going to happen. This is absolutely not his fault. But if you get a pair of Mercurials converted, you will pop your air pocket in the boot, because they're going to drill straight through, and you'll end up popping the air pocket. So like I say, Bootman converted them for me for a video I'm going to make, so he didn't charge me for it. It's an agreement, and I decided to send him the Mercurials. It's the last generation Superfly, on the basis that I thought it would be an interesting boot to convert, because I have an SG, an FG, an anti-clog, and now a converted as well. So I have like all the different sole plate options. And I wanted to see if the sole plate, if the air pocket had popped, and it did. So that was an expensive experiment, but
Yeah, it's the things we do.
The things we do indeed, such as destroying our own boots for the purposes of science. I do have some questions also here. I asked for just on Instagram just before we jumped on, and I thought it would be interesting to get into a couple of these. So if you have any questions for the in the chat, do drop them in there for sure. So this is another interesting one, and I don't know if I will be able to answer this, but if Justin is still in the chat, I think he will be able to answer it. I don't think you're going to be able to answer this either, Andrew. What are your thoughts on the upper variance between the F50 Plus and the F50 Elite? I really noticed the Plus to be softer. I haven't even had a pair of the Plus in hand.
No, I haven't, but that's what I've heard as well, is that the Plus has got a softer upper. So
yeah, I've heard that. But in that instance, based on what we've been talking about today, I don't really see that as a problem. That's two different boots. That's like we mentioned it a lot last week, but the Speedflow, for example, the Speedflow Plus and the Speedflow 0.1 had wildly different uppers, and that's completely fine.
But you're paying more and you're getting a nicer upper.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's a different boot, and the Plus is softer. So if it was stiffer, that might be a problem. But you got a softer upper, you're paying more.
Yeah, I
don't really see that as being an issue at all. Cool. I've also got. Oh, hold on. We have a question, William. So sorry. I'm all over the place today. Fine. Justin says the F50 Plus is softer, but it makes the lockdown worse. There we go. And William Arthur says, is sole conversion a decent option then? I think I commented on your last Boot Out podcast about getting some X-Life 5s, but would probably get more wear out of them in SG as winter's here in the UK.
Yeah.
I think sole conversion is a good option.
Conversion's fine.
Yeah. Bear in mind, you're going to have to pay for it. Like, it's probably going to cost you somewhere between maybe 40 and 60 euros to get that done.
Yeah, so it might be cheaper. If you're going to buy a pair of Asics anyways, it might be cheaper to just try and source a pair of the SG model as it is. But worst case scenario,
I think that would be my advice, is like try and get the SG. If you can't get the SG and you really want them, get them converted.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. So hold on a second. And then so this is kind of not boot related, but it's an interesting question. So this is Matteo Hall, who is potentially in here somewhere. He's usually in here somewhere. Thoughts about the Netherlands banning or phasing out synthetic pitches? I think we spoke about this last week a little bit, didn't we? Yeah. And I think we were generally in favor of it for both environmental and just pure wear and tear reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just needs to be done. It's going to be especially in the US, it is going to be a fight at every single turn, but it just needs to be done.
Yeah, Matthew H. There we go. That's he asked the question. And I think the US is, you're right, is the biggest issue because they have professional sports fields that are full AG.
And that was a big deal when Messi moved to the MLS. And Suarez was like, are they going to play on AG pitches? Because Drogba straight up refused.
Yeah, it's like not happening.
Yeah, and so they've had other players who've come in from overseas and are like, I'm not playing on AG. So.
Yeah. And then they've only just, well, not only just, it's been a few years now, but there was a huge movement in the UK to get women's football onto all grass pitches. So no AG, no artificial ground pitches. There was international games that were being played on AG. There was WSL games that were being played on AG, and it's just not a good idea, especially with the whole with the ACL crisis. And it is a crisis that we have in the women's game. An AG pitch is absolute madness, and I think Liverpool were the last top flight club to switch away and go to a grass pitch, and it just makes so much sense. Now I use a lot of AG pitches just because it's what's available to me. But I would be delighted if everything was grass.
Justin making some good points. Problem with any public turf fields is they're never maintained. It becomes even more unsafe. turf is a big point of contention for the World Cup. Matthew points out the U.S. is going to give it to corporate tire company lobbyists and keep rubber on the field. Yeah, probably.
That's probably correct. Yeah, I think so. The problem becomes that Justin has made excellent points there. So the public turf fields saying they're never maintained. It's not that it's not possible. Like, it's obviously just not being done. So I don't know if anybody's ever seen or looked or watched like kind of some of J Mike's more like personal stuff on his Instagram and things like that. So J Mike lives in Denmark. I used to live in Denmark, and there are so many public like turf fields, like just grass pitches that you can go on and use, and they're wonderful. Some of them are basically carpet, and they're free and they're open to the public, and you can just go and use them.
Yeah, but James, you have to pay taxes for that. Why would you want to pay taxes to make things better? You could just make things cheaper and suffer.
Yeah, why would I pay taxes to have access to carpet, turf fields, free healthcare?
If they made a specific
I could
tax,
go on.
Like if they came up to my family in Japan and they said, "We're going to open some really nice grass fields, your taxes will go up," I will gladly pay those taxes.
Yeah, damn right.
Yeah.
Like, I even have it here. Like, the grass pitches around here aren't great, but that's a completely different point of view situation. So, on a slight tangent, over here, like Gaelic football hurling is huge, which means that within a 10 to 15, let's say 20-minute driving radius of me, there is at least 3, maybe 4 really beautiful grass pitches, but they're owned by Gaelic football clubs, and a lot of money. So Gaelic football, for anybody who doesn't know, hurling, the GAR, they are not for-profit organizations. They're not professional organizations, and all the money it makes, which is a ton of money, gets filtered back into all the kind of low-level clubs all the way around the country, which means all of these clubs have beautiful pitches, and this is generally what people use. So therefore, there isn't as much of a demand for these lovely public access grass pitches, despite the fact that I would like one. Yeah, also, sorry, just said Justin here, USA turf being a big point of contention for the World Cup. They absolutely can't play World Cup games on turf, surely.
No, they can't.
Like, that's madness.
William, loads of pitches around my level has AG non-league, about level 10 in the pyramid. Yeah, it's more viable for smaller teams with a tiny budget. But the thing is, like, they should get help for stuff like that.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to laugh at that. I was laughing at Justin's comment.
Sign me up. We're gonna start playing the theme tune from the first International. But yeah, I can absolutely understand that. But like, I argue this is my, money should be just taken from, just not asked to, but just taken from the top levels of the game, and they should be forced to pay for the upkeep of pitches and stuff like that for the lower levels.
Yeah.
If you want to maintain the quality of the game across all levels in the UK or other countries, the teams at the very top should be forced to invest at the teams at the very bottom.
Yeah. And they are, to a degree, in the UK.
Money. I already know that Premier League gives money, and they talk about we've upped the amount of money, but like, we're talking about these clubs that are bringing in billions, and a tiny fraction of that budget is going down to the bottom leagues.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, the way that the English football pyramid works, I think, is great. I think that is a very good way of running the pyramid. The problem is that the amount that is given is not enough to grassroots. So they need to basically pay more. And I think if you do look, was it maybe the Deloitte money list for the clubs this year, Man United, even with no Champions League football, brought in like $700 million.
Yeah.
You're telling me that they can't afford to like give a little bit more to clubs further down the pyramid? Like, it makes no sense.
Justin, what arguments are you talking about, buddy? Are you talking about against socialism, or are you talking about grass pitches? Are Karu's C chat cat? There are a lot of climate issues with water and drought issues here in parts of the U.S. that prevent quality grass fields. Yes, there are. I would also like to point out a lot of those places have golf clubs with pristine grass. I'm not saying we should ban golf, but I'm not saying
it. I'm saying that if we can, that if rich people can afford pristine grass for golf, we can afford better soccer pitches.
No, we should take the money and the water that's being used for grass and just for golf and just put in, because those golf clubs are bringing in millions.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
No, against good pitches at lower levels.
I have not heard an argument against that, Justin. Please do enlighten us.
Please.
Enlighten us while I move to the last question that we have. So this is from Mediamara 5058, who has said, so this is another interesting question. This is boot based. For performance, is it better to always stick to the same boot, buying several of that boot, in order to build habits? Which is obviously something that we don't do, but would you recommend it?
Yes, I would recommend that. I am telling you to not do what we do. Now, I will say this. One of the things I did like doing before is I kind of liked having different style of boots for just based on how I was feeling. So, like, the thing I can think of is for a while I'd have my Mizuno Wave Ignitus, I'd have my Lotto Zero Gravity, and I had a pair of Pantofla Oros. And just based on how I was feeling on any particular day, 3 vastly different boots. That's just how I go. So that's fine, but yeah, consistency, keeping the same boots and stuff. Yeah, it helps.
Yeah,
it definitely helps.
Yeah, if you find a boot that you really, really love, and you can get hold of a lot of them, or like, here's what I would do is, say for example, you decide that you really like the New Balance Tequila, the current New Balance Tequila, which I think is fantastic, and you've gone out, you've bought one pair at full price, and you're wearing that. Great, do that. Wait for that pair to go on sale, and buy another pair. So then you've got another pair there. Then wait for that entire boot line to die and them to release a brand new model, which is going to happen within 12 months for a New Balance boot. Then go back and buy another pair. And then what you're going to do is you're going to wait maybe so this is really, if you follow enough boots and you watch enough sales of boots, there's this really interesting thing that happens where boots, they release and then they go on sale, and then they kind of stay around here for a little bit, and then maybe a year, 2 years after the release, they absolutely bottom out and nobody can sell them, and you find them for like easily less than half the price, half the full retail price.
Especially with New Balance, there's been times where it's been like 75 off.
A good example that I've got for this is the Adidas X 19.1. This absolutely bottomed out, really easy to get, around 100 quid. Then what happens is people realize, crap, that was a good boot. And the price starts going like this, because there's less of them, and people have all of a sudden got nostalgia for it. They've all of a sudden realized it's good, and the resellers have started to get hold of it, and they've started to work that out, which means the price starts climbing. And all of a sudden you end up back at the point, like right now, go and try and buy a pair of X 19.1, you will basically pay retail for them. So you've got to kind of watch this price sale bottom out, buy a load of them when it hits here, and then avoid it before it climbs back up again. That's what I would do, and that happens with almost every boot that doesn't. There isn't like a big sell that doesn't like sell out, for example. It's not going to happen with the Predator FT because it's just not. But it happens with so many boots. You just have to be patient. It even happens here with
some of the Mizuno boots. With the original Rebula, I got a pair at full retail. Well, it wasn't full retail. I got them for 10% off. The price started dropping. They discontinued the Rebula 1. I ended up getting a sample pair from a retailer for like 20 euros. And then when I started the blog, I sold those at like 100 euros to help fund the blog.
Yeah.
And there was a while there, like my used pair I sold for like 80 euros. So there was a while there where they were super, super cheap. But now they're back up to what they were for retail.
Exactly.
So like I want to do a Rebula retrospective, but that's going to be very expensive because every single Rebula has gone back up.
There you go.
In price.
You just gotta watch it's almost like watching the stock market with your boots and trying to work out when they have bottomed out, because it will happen. So I'm just going to take the question at the bottom, or the point at the bottom there from William Arthur. It just says, on that point, the Hypervenom 3 defo skyrocketed after Elise started wearing them often. Yep. So crazy expensive right now. Yep. On this podcast, we do not blame Elise for the Hypervenom 3. We blame Noah Kavanagh.
Because he's pretty much bought all of them.
Yeah. So Noah, the price of the Hypervenom 3 is Noah Kavanagh's fault, and I will not hear anybody else blamed.
Yeah. Okay, Justin, basically say you should master your game on shitty, uneven, muddy fields, so when you play in a perfect field, you're even better. No, because that's such a stupid argument, because then you just build bad habits.
Yeah, it's such a dumb argument. It is so dumb. I realize Justin's only repeating exactly what other people are saying, and he obviously doesn't agree either. But that is the dumbest argument. I hate that.
Yeah. The Ronaldinho Dois. Yeah, the Dois was super cheap for a while there. It was really easy to pick up a pair for $80 within a year of them releasing, and now they're just stupidly priced because people all of a sudden realize oh, these were actually really good boots. This always happens. I mean, the 2014 Adi Zero is a perfect example of this. Nobody gave a damn about half the colorways. They didn't sell out. They had to go super cheap for a lot of the colorways. And then now it's everybody's talking as if they've always loved the boot. And it's no, that was never the case. We get in a leather pair. If we brought in 50 leather pairs and 20 synthetic pairs, the 50 leather pairs would sell out before the 20 leather pairs had sold half.
Yeah.
For example. So.
A good. We answered something around this quite a lot, but it's something worth continuing to answer. H2O here. Why do different brands' sizing differ so much? You can buy a size UK 10 and lengths differ so much. Surely foot size has a specific fixed inch/centimeter length. So I think the first thing that we've always said is to try and use the centimeter length, because it is generally more accurate. UK sizes, US sizes, EU sizes, they are generally all over the place. And it can get a little bit confusing. If you're looking to buy for yourself, measuring your foot and going with the centimeter size or Japanese size is probably the best starting point.
Yeah. But even in and amongst that, some brands' centimeter sizing is off a lot.
Yeah, no question. So. What I do like is that Skito have actually put a proper centimeter sizing on their boots. They actually have.
Wrong. Sorry, guys.
It is wrong, but I like that they've actually put it's not just a generic 250, 255, 260, 265. Yeah. It is a number, even though it's still wrong.
Yeah, it's still wrong. Because according to them, I should be in a 9.5, not an 8.5. That ain't flying.
I don't actually know what mine is. I think, I can't remember.
My 8.5s are 25.7.
Yes, which is what I have.
Which is not.
That's not the case, because my feet are longer than that.
Yeah, my feet are 26.3 and 26.2. So.
Yeah, so my feet are 25.9 and 26, and I've ordered the blackout in half a size smaller than that, so I've ordered the blackout in an 8 rather than the 8.5, because I got the 8.5 in the first time round. Well, Skito sent them to me, in the half size up, which is what we would recommend, or I would recommend for most people at least, is to buy that half size up. But it does just prove that the centimeter length is still absolutely wrong.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. So, love your boots, but
So these are 255 in my size. I assume they're 260 in yours.
Oh yeah, 260. I was wait, no, you're looking. I'm I remember you got half size smaller.
Yeah, mine are half size smaller. So these are 255, and my feet are nearly 260. What can you do?
William asked what level of football did you both play now when you were younger? So now I haven't been with a team this season, but I'm probably going to rejoin my old team, which I would say they're at level 7 or 8 in the Japanese football pyramid. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I played like club soccer in the U.S. and high school and all that. My club wasn't anything special, but just did normal pay-to-play stuff.
I just play kind of, I suppose, what you'd consider recreational. Like I play pickup and things like that. I don't play for a specific team a lot of the time. I'll kind of play when I'm called upon and various things like that. I've done that basically since moving back to Ireland. So that would be nearly 3 years now. Maybe longer than 3 years. Oh, it's been a long time.
Years. Yeah.
Is it 4 years?
You moved during the middle of the pandemic, so yeah.
I did, yeah.
4 years.
Jesus. That's what I do now. And then when I was younger, just kind of club sides, nothing particularly special. I did have one individual trial for my hometown club when I was younger. Just one. That was it. And didn't go any further than that. Like I have never been shy about the fact that I am not a particularly wonderful footballer. I enjoy playing, and I enjoy the things that you have to put on your feet in order to play. And that's where I stand.
I've done 14 or 15 trials, so but I also am not pro. And like if I was to play with Noah, it'd be very obvious the difference in level between us. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Speaking of pro, I do want to just compliment your Umbro Pro Training derby jacket today. It's lovely.
We're now Puma, so obviously I'm not buying Puma until the new year because of reasons.
Reasons, yes.
Figure out why it's that specific date. But so yeah.
Nice.
We both play.
Cool. I think that's it. I think that is all of our questions.
I think it was kind of like a natural finishing point.
We've just come to a natural end. Justin says I could have all the skills in the world, but this dad bod could never beat Noah. Dude, you and me together, we could have like the double dad bod, and we'll just provide like an unpassable wall. We'll just go for pure width and pure size, and he won't be able to get around us, and it'll be fine.
I think he would barrel through you. That dude is a machine.
The man does triathlons for fun. He would destroy us. Destroy us. Oh dear.
Not to mention he's tall. I'm pretty sure he's taller than all three of us. So.
Oh, without a doubt. He looks like quite a not a massively tall man, but definitely taller than all of us. Oh, my cat has decided to join us.
I went to my local boot shop, put my foot width in one of those weird metal footing devices. It said like 8.75-ish. But it's weird. I can't read.
It says, but every boot is still weird because the shape of the toe box, except the Morelia 2s.
Yeah, those metal measuring devices are not made for football boots either.
This is the same reason why people wear a different size in a lot of their running shoes and casual shoes to what they wear in football boots. A lot of people will wear at least a half size down in their football boots. Yeah, fair enough.
Cool.
Right. I think that's us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a nice chill one today.
I feel more refreshed today.
Yeah.
I'm still tired. I still want to sleep, but not as badly.
And I will be we'll be doing a specific podcast next week, which we've tried to do for 2 weeks and it's gone wrong both times. Next week we have a very special podcast. So please, if you are here right now, please set the timer for this time next week to watch that specific podcast, because we're very excited about it. It's taken about 6 weeks to set up. We're very much excited about that. So please do like this particular podcast, get subscribed to the channel, join the Boot Wizard channel as a member if you would like. That would be greatly appreciated. Sign Matthew's petition for pink Messis for Andrew. And
you buy them for me, I'll wear them. I'll tell you that. You're more than welcome to buy them for me.
And we will see you all next week for a very special episode. If you are part of our boot group, you know what this episode is. Get your stuff together.
Yeah,
it's happening next week. Get it done. Yeah. We'll catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.